This is CBT News.
Hi everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick with CBT News. Thanks so much for joining me today. Every dealer out there today is focused on used cars because of the situation that we see ourselves in on the new car side with inventory levels being as low as they are, and it looks like it's going to be that way at least throughout the entire summer. So every dealer wants to get their hands on more late model used cars and actually all used cars. So we're joined today by the co-founders of VettX, Mr. Nick Patterson and Ryan Dietz. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on CBT News.
Thank you for having us on, Jim.
Sure. The reason that we wanted to talk to you is because VettX is a vendor out there, one of the newest companies out there that we've come across that's doing some great work for dealers in the area of acquiring used cars. So for the viewers that are out there that are not as familiar with VettX brand as we are, kind of tell us what the solution is that you provide to dealers in the area of used cars.
Definitely. You know, what we do is we help dealers acquire inventory through the private party sector.
Okay.
So, you know, we've developed software that started from the retail side. I was running a used car lot for my family's dealership. They've been in business for over 50 years.
Okay.
And Ryan was running the internet BDC department. And he also had some programming skills. So as I was trying to acquire inventory in the private sector, I realized how difficult it was to navigate through it and be able to have proper follow-up. And by the time I would finally find a car that I wanted to purchase, it had already sold because it's a very fast-paced market.
Yeah.
So by teaming up with Ryan and having him build the software to make it a lot more efficient to do my job, that's really where the business started.
Is this something that that more and more dealers are looking at, especially during these times? Because every dealer that I've been speaking to across the country during COVID and even before COVID needed good used cars as quickly as they could get them. Talk to me about your launching the company and how you're really able to cure this situation for dealers.
Yeah, definitely. You know, in this unique marketplace currently, dealers have really been using us more than ever. I mean, we had a record month last month.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. But the private party sector really hasn't caught up to what's really going on in the used car market. You know, we know auction values have really spiked and become more and more difficult there. So acquiring cars on the private party has never been, a bigger need than it is currently.
Yeah, for sure. Why aren't dealers buying more cars from private party?
You know, good question. And I think a couple of reasons. You know, I think dealers, the majority of them have a misconception that buying private party is too expensive.
Okay.
We found that that's actually not the case, and national average, we're able to acquire vehicles back a wholesale book.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great, and it's been really, and that happens in every single market across the nation. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's a lot of time and effort, and buyers, used car managers, they have a lot of other tasks that they have to deal with at the dealership. And being able to scour through these markets and book the vehicles out and make all the phone calls and do all the proper follow-up, it's incredibly time
consuming and expensive.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan, I'm not a real gadget guy. I'm not big on computers, probably because I'm a baby boomer but talk to me about how easy this program is for me to use. Is it something that I can use on my cell phone?
Yeah, so it helps coming from the dealer side of things for me because I got to see the inner workings of the dealership and how they operate. And it's really got to be, what I like to say is simple, stupid. Anybody can hop on there without hours of training and be able to use it.
Yeah.
And usability is one thing, but also the efficiency of it.
Right.
And creating a software that's efficient, that, like Nick said, it saves you time and it saves you money. That's all really what went into it. And then we spent a lot of time testing it with dealers and seeing how they would use it and, making big bright buttons and things like that really just make it simple for anybody to hop on and use it, day one.
Yeah, for sure. Why should dealers be acquiring inventory basically from the private party market? What's in it for them to get those cars?
Well, these are cars that are being bought and sold in their local markets, So we always use Bob and Larry as an example. Bob's the guy that's trying to sell his car. He wants a little bit more money for his vehicle. Well, a lot of times Bob's also in the market to buy a car.
That's right.
Larry, on the other hand, he just wants a good deal on a car. So Larry's somebody who he's going to be buying a car shortly.
Yeah.
And so the way that we look at it is if you can absorb a large part of that market in your local vicinity, not only will good things happen from Bob the seller, you acquire that inventory, you sell them a vehicle, but now Larry doesn't have the opportunity to buy it on the private sector. So in return, he will actually come back to your dealership to make that transaction.
That's right.
So it's a win-win on both sides.
Yeah, people will follow a specific used car for sure. That's typically the vehicle that they travel the furthest for. If it's a specific car at a brand that they're looking for with a specific mileage, they'll make the drive for that car. They'll even step up on price for that car, right?
Definitely. And what we see in the private sector is when you actually acquire these vehicles, there's a lot less recon that is done from the dealer side.
Yeah.
A lot of times they detail the car. They know what's wrong with it, so they get certain things fixed because they're trying to get the most money for their vehicles. And
That's right.
They're proud of their cars, so they're more personalized vehicles. So.
Yeah. Is there anything like this out in the market available to dealers today?
There are a couple other options, and I think what distinguishes us from our competition is that one, we come from the retail side.
Yeah.
And so we understand what car dealers' needs and wants are.
Mm-hmm.
We developed our own proprietary pricing matrix on the private sector that is not only proven to work, but it helps dealers fill the sweet spot mix in their inventory in regards to price point and turn. The software is developed around what works for them, so we have predetermined parameters that are set for our dealers.
Okay.
So we already kind of know what their needs and wants are.
Okay. So if I'm a dealer and I'm on your program, you're not going to bring me vehicles that traditionally I haven't done well with, right?
Correct.
So
exactly.
if I say to you, look, I don't do real good with vehicles that are over 5 years old or 7 years old or what have you, don't bring me those vehicles. In fact, I only do really my top grosses are with domestics versus foreign brands. Then you can really dice those out and bring me and put me together with those sellers in the market of just what I'm looking for.
Yes, so that's all built into the software during our implementation when we start to get to know the dealer.
Right.
But we go the extra mile where you don't necessarily need the extra expense of hiring an employee to work the software.
Yeah.
We're doing a large bulk of the work for you.
Gotcha.
And so we'll go to the extent where once we find a vehicle that makes business sense for that dealership, we're going to be setting the appointment. And that appointment that is set has a really high close rate. I mean, we're upwards of 70 to 75% on the appointments that are being set.
No kidding. That's fantastic.
Yeah, to add to that, we're not just a lead generator. You kind of referenced our competition. A lot of companies like to just generate leads for dealerships, which is great, but it really just creates more work for the dealer. To filter through that and
that's right.
What's going to be successful for me and so on and so forth. So we take the extra step to vet these cars out, to figure out if Bob's willing to sell it to the dealership, and we let them know what the benefits of selling to the dealership are. If they're carrying the note or not, if they need to pay off a loan for the vehicle, we can facilitate a lot of that stuff to where a lot of other guys can't.
Yeah, how have current events affected the acquisition of vehicles and also from the private party market? How's COVID-19 and all that's going on there?
Yeah, we've actually really seen an uptick in not only the amount of cars that we're purchasing for dealers, but the amount of cars that are being posted. I think there's definitely been a bottled up demand here, and people, they need to sell their vehicles, whether they're a little bit cash strapped or they've just been itching to buy a vehicle and they haven't been able to in the last couple of months, and so yeah, I mean, there's a ton of opportunity out there.
Yeah. What percentage of the vehicles that people sell, or I should say of the sellers, are actually buyers for another vehicle? Because I mean, you got to drive a car still, right? Unless maybe a parent died or somebody and you got an extra car and you go, hey, I want to sell it. With the exception of that, most of these people, I would imagine, are actual car shoppers at that point in time.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and I don't know the exact percentage offhand, but
it's got to be high.
Only good things happen when these appointments are being set.
That's right.
So an email confirmation will be sent out to the dealer. The manager just makes a final call to confirm that appointment. At any point in time, they can what we call blow up the deal. So if something doesn't seem right to them or they don't agree with the car, we're not going to waste everyone's time. Does
the dealer have to cut off a piece of the percentage of the deal or the price of the car that they acquire to you guys?
No, we're a simple flat fee.
Wow.
We've tested different pricing models.
That's fantastic.
We started out with per car fees and things like that, and some dealers kind of like that, but going to a simple flat fee was the easiest way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a no-brainer.
Dealers can buy as many cars as they want and
yeah.
just sit there and keep burning up the appointments.
That's the way to do it for sure. Oh wow, that's fantastic. So what's next? If we were having this conversation a year from now, what's next for your company and where do you want to take it?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we're really excited because as we are vetting more vehicles nationwide, what we're really starting to develop is a true private party valuation, which I think is really exciting for us, and that's never really that there isn't that figure out in the automotive industry.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, when you look at different books that are out there now, like Kelley Blue Book, NADA, they have such a hodgepodge of data, and they have a lot of it. But a lot of it comes from auctions in different places and things like that. Well, we've never seen anybody have data on the private market sector as a whole, and only on the private party. So that's what we're developing is creating our own valuations for private party cars for dealers to make a bit more of an educated decision.
That's fantastic.
Also, another thing that's in the works and that we've partnered with Toyota for a little bit and piloted it in the San Francisco region is once we get a VIN number on the vehicle, we know if that vehicle has a recall or not. So now not only are we looking at just the acquisition of the vehicle, but we're also starting to drive traffic into the service department.
I was going to say some service revenue in that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. Wow. Congratulations to both of you on this. Nick Patterson and Ryan Dietz, co-founders of a company called VettX. That will be a company you will hear a lot more about, I can assure you, because this is an area that I'm sure a lot of dealers out there are very interested in, especially during these times, but even after these times. Who doesn't want great used cars from customers or consumers right from their own marketplace? So I commend both of you for coming up with this program and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Jim.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us.
Thanks.